Hey, what's up you guys? It's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see in the future. Click that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on my post notifications. That way you lovely people get notified every single time I upload a video. In today's video, we are going to go into part 2 of chapter 37 of As Good as Dead. I do have a goal to try and read the rest of this book by the end of the year and get at least all of them uploaded for you. So let's get right into this. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, please click off the video now. You have been warned. All good, Connor asked her from the back seat. Yeah, he's out, said Pip. Sorry, I had to hit him. Nat looked up at her. He was trying to push me out and shut the door, and I could still see you there behind him, so I just... No, it's fine, Pip cut across her. Might actually work out for the better even. And it felt good, Nat smiled. Wanted to do that for a long time. But you need to get to your brothers now, Pip said, her voice hardening. Unlikely anyone will believe Max when he says you went out for a chat. But I want you to be secure as possible. I'll be fine, Nat replied. Dan will be on his 5th beer already. I'll tell him it was 8:45. He won't know the difference. Kim and the baby are at her mom's. Okay. Pip shifted her focus to Jamie behind the steering wheel. She leaned across Nat to hand him Max's bagged up phone. Jamie took it and gave it her small nod, placing it down on his lap. I've put it on silent already, she said. Battery looks good. Jamie nodded again. I've plugged the location into the GPS, he said, indicating the car's built-in system. We'll find it. Green scene limited, back roads only. And your phones are off? Pip asked. Phone's off, Connor. She turned to him. Yes, he said, eyes glowing from the dark back seat. Turn it off back at home. We won't turn them back on again, not until we're clear. Good, Pip exhaled. So when you get there, you'll see the gate is open. Do not go inside. You understand? You must not go inside. Promise me. No, we won't, Connor said, a small glance between the brothers. Promise, Jamie added. Don't even look through the gate. Just pull up outside. Off the road, Pip said. Leave Max's phone in the bag. Don't touch it. Whatever you do. There are some rocks, big rocks on the grass lining the small drive up to the gate. Leave the phone in the bag behind the first big rocks. Just put the bag there and leave. Pip, we've got it, Jamie said. Sorry, it can't go wrong. Not one part can go wrong. It won't, Jamie said softly, kindly calming her spiking nerves. We've got you. Have you worked out where you're going after? She said. Yes, Connor said, leaning forward into the yellow glow of the light by the rearview mirror. There's a late-night Marvel movie festival thing at one of the movie theaters in Norwalk. We'll go there. Turn our phones on when we get there. Get to the parking lot. Make a couple of calls and texts while we're there. Cameras everywhere. We'll be fine. Okay, Pip nodded. Good. Yeah, that's a good idea, Connor. He smiled weakly at her, and she could tell he was scared. Scared because he could tell that something terrible had happened, and he'd never know what he'd been a part of. Though they could guess, they'd probably guess when the news got out. But as long as it was never said out loud, as long as they didn't truly know beyond any doubt, Connor didn't need to be scared. If anything went wrong, Pip would bring it all down on her. The rest of them would be safe. They were just at a late-night showing at a movie theater and knew nothing. She tried to tell him all of that with her eyes. And you'll call me from the burner once you're clear of Green Scene, Pip said. Drive for at least 5 minutes and then call from the burner to tell me Max's phone is in place. Yes, we will, Connor said, waving the burner phone she'd given them. Okay, I think we're all set. Pip stepped back from the car. We'll drop Nat at her brother's and then we'll go straight there, Jamie said, starting the car, the engine cutting through the quiet night. Good luck, Nat said, holding Pip's eyes for a lingering second before she closed the door. Headlights on, and Pip shielded her eyes from the glare as she backed up, watching them drive away, but only for a moment. She didn't have time to dwell, or time to doubt, or time to wonder if she was dragging everyone she cared about down with her. Time wasn't something she had. She hurried back up the sidewalk, up the front path of the Hastings house. She tried 2 keys before she found the one that unlocked the front door, pushing it open quietly. Max was passed out, but she didn't want to push her luck. She left the car key on the floor of the hall near her backpack, and so she wouldn't forget them on her way out. Her mind was scattering, pushed out of place by Jamie's kindness and Nat's concern and Connor's fear, but she needed to focus again. The plan was working, and it pulled up a new list in her mind now. The list she and Robbie had worked out, everything she needed to take from Max's house. 3 things. Pip headed up the staircase, rounding the corner into the hallway, upstairs and across into Max's bedroom. Pip knew which of which one it was. She'd been here before, back when she first found out Annie Bell had been selling drugs. It didn't look any different. The same maroon bedspread, the same pillows of discarded clothes, and the same piles of discarded clothes. She also knew that behind the Reservoir Dogs poster pinned up on the bulletin board was a photo of Annie Bell, a topless photo of Andy, and Andy had left in Elliot Ward's classroom, and Max had found and kept all this time. It made Pip feel sick knowing it was there, and part of her wanted to rip the hidden photo down, carry Andy safely home with her, along with her ghost. Andy had suffered enough at the hands of violent men, but she couldn't do that. Max couldn't known anyone had been here. Pip turned her attention to the white laundry basket, overflowing, its lid balanced precariously on top. She pushed the lid off and rummaged through Max's dirty clothes, glad for the gloves covering her hands. About halfway down, she found something that would do, a dark gray hoodie with a zipper creased and crinkled. Pip chucked it out onto Max's bed, then replaced the two-full laundry basket the same way she found it. Next, she headed toward the built-in closet. Shoes. She needed a pair of his shoes, preferably ones with a unique tread pattern. Pip opened the doors and stared inside, eyes falling to the very bottom in the chaotic jumble of shoes that greeted her there. She bent down and reached in toward the back. If the shoes were at the back, that likely meant Max didn't wear them as often. Pip discounted one pair of dark running shoes, their soles rubbed flat and smooth with age. She found another nearby, a white sneaker, and turned it over, her eyes following the hectic zigzag lines on its soles. Yes, that would make for some good tracks. And these weren't the shoes he'd used on his daily run. She fished through the pile of mismatched shoes, searching for the pair, fishing it out from a tangle of laces. She straightened up, about to close the closet door, when something else caught her eye, a dark green baseball cap with a white check mark balanced on the top of its hangers. Yes, that might come in handy too. Thank you, Max, she thought, mentally adding it to the list as she grabbed it. With the gray hoodie, the white sneakers, and the cap bundled in her arms, she made her way downstairs, stepping in between Max's deep sleep breaths. She laid the pile of clothes down beside her backpack. One last thing, and then she was out of here. The thing she was most afraid to do. She reached in and pulled out another resealable sandwich bag. Pip held her breath, though she didn't need to. If Max could hear anything, it would be the sound of her heart throwing itself around her ribs. How long could it keep going at this rate before it gave up and gave out? She walked up silently behind him to the other side of the sofa where his head lay, and listened to the sound of his breaths as they rattled his top lip. Pip edged closer and crouched, cursing her ankles as the bones clicked, echoing in the quiet room. She opened the sandwich bag and held it up beneath Max's head. With the other gloved hand, she drew her thumb and forefingers closely, and then slowly, and pushed them through Max's hair toward his scalp. There was only so gentle she could be, pulling hairs out of his head, but that's what she had to do. She couldn't cut them out. She needed the root and skin cells attached to the hair, carrying his DNA. Carefully, she pinched her finger and thumb together around a small clump of his dark blonde hair. She jerked her hand back. Max sniffed, a heavy breath and a stuttering in his chest, but he didn't move. Pip could feel her wild heartbeat, even though the backs even though the backs of her teeth, as she studied the hair, snagged between her fingers, long, wavy, a few visible bulbs of skin at the root. There weren't many, but they would have to do. She didn't want to risk anything again. She lowered her fingers into the sandwich bag and rubbed them together, the blonde hairs floating down into the clear bag, almost invisible. A couple still clung to the latex glove. She wiped those off against the sofa, sealed the bag, and stepped away. Back in the hall, she packed Max's hoodie away into the large plastic freezer bag, his shoes and his cap into another, before stuffing them all into the main body of her backpack. It was full now, the zipper struggling to fasten, but that was okay. She had everything she needed. She tucked the bag with Max's hair into the front pocket instead, and then hoisted it all up onto her shoulders. She flicked off the light in the living room before she left, unsure why she did. The yellow lights, harsh as they were, wouldn't be enough to pull Max out of unconsciousness, but she didn't want to take the chance. He still had to be like this when she got back in a few hours. Pip trusted the pills as Max had surely done himself countless times in his life, but she didn't trust anything that much, not even herself. Pip scooped up the keys from the floor and walked out, pulling the front door closed behind her. She pressed a button on the fob, and the taillights blinked on Max's black car, telling her that it was unlocked. She opened the driver's side door, dropped the keys on the seat, and then shut it again, leaving the car behind. As she walked down the drive and down the street, she pulled off the latex gloves. They were stuck fast to the sweat on her hands, sweat or Stanley's blood. It was too dark to tell now, and she had to use her teeth to rip them free. The evening air felt cold and too solid on the bare skin of her fingers, and she stuffed the used gloves in her pocket. Her car was waiting for her just ahead, waiting for her and the next step of the plan. Her alibi. That is the end of chapter 37. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!